everyone. So today we are going to be continuing our learning about time. And as you can see, we are going to be working in the lesson 14 problem set. So hopefully you've had a little bit of a chance to continue to play around with the online manipulative clock. So I'll give you a little chance to work on that. And I'll make sure you also have enough time to finish the exit ticket with this lesson as well. So the one thing we're going to do first, obviously, is make sure we're on page 31. They should match in both of our books. And we're going to make sure that we go ahead and read the instructions. So it says, draw the hour and minute hands on the clock to match the correct time. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to highlight that. We want to draw those in. And we want to make sure that the hour hands is short and the minute hand is long. Okay, so just a little reminder, we want to think of those two things as we go in. Okay, and remember the key thing to do when we're working with time is to be able to count by one, obviously for hours, and count by fives when we're talking about the minutes. Okay, so especially our benchmark times. So we want to count by five. Okay, and this is something that we have practiced a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to focus in on the hour, which is 3. So I'm going to draw my short hands to point to that 3. Then I'm going to want to remember that I'm counting by 5. So of course, the 12 is 0 as far as when we're counting minutes, right? So we've got 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then 60 minutes, and then back to 0, of course, as we sweep our way around the clock. So if we're counting by 5, we want to go to our first benchmark, which is right here where it's marked 1. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw our minute hand nice and long, either touching or almost touching the 1 itself, right, to show 3:05. Then we're going to move over a little bit and we're going to represent 3:35. So the hour hand is going to be the same, just like this. And then we've got 35. So we're going to count again by 5. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. What I might do is a little mark just so I remember. And then I'm going to draw my minute hand again a little bit longer to extend. Now let's try moving into 4:10 and 4:40. So same thing, we're going to practice drawing our hour mark, and we're going to go to 4 o'clock. So draw your small hand pointing to the 4, and then we're going to count by 5. So we're starting at 0, of course. We've got 5, 10. I'm going to make my little mark, extend my arrow, and go to the 2, which is really the 10 when we count by our 5s. And then the same thing over here. So we're going to do 4 o'clock, short hands, and then I'm going to count by 5. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Extend that minute hands, either touching the 8 or almost to the 8. You want to make sure that they look different. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to move into 6:25 and 6:55, as you can see in the digital down below. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw the hour hand, make it nice and short, pointing down to the 6. And then continue our practice of counting by 5s. So again, we're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Get that minute hand pointing to the 5. And then same thing over here. Make sure that small hour hand is pointing to the 6. And we're going to count by 5s. And we're going to sweep almost all the way around this time. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Again, we're almost all the way back to the 12 mark. So point your arrow towards the 11, which is also 55 in minutes. Now we're going to actually do the opposite. We're going to tell the time. We created the time, we showed the hands. This time we're going to tell the time. So we're going to say, what time is it? So what we want to do is we want to see, is the hour hand at or past which hour, right? So we want to look and see, is it at that hour or just past, so we know which one it is. So for example, it's past, a little bit past the 7, and it's not quite 8. So we know we're still in the 7 o'clock hour. So we're going to put 7 o'clock, and then the 2 dots, which is a colon, okay? Also something we use in writing. So we're going to put a colon, and then this is where we're going to count by our 5. So I'm going to mark it on the side, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And I know that you all are very good at skip counting by 5s. So I know that this will be pretty easy for you. Okay, let's do the same thing over here. Let's take a peek at where that hour hand is first. Now, if you look, it's quite far away from the 12, but it is not quite at the 1 yet. So it still is 12, right? It's still in the 12 o'clock hour. So we're going to put 12, then the colon to mark the difference between hours and minutes. And get ready, catch your breath, because we're going to count by 5s all the way around almost, okay? So let's begin. I'm going to mark them on the side too. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Okay, so the answer here is 12:55. Okay. And again, if you need to look back at it, stop it, pause it, the video, you can do that as well if you need to. Okay. I just want to go over the exit ticket because I just want to remind you that you, of course, as always, have the option to do it on the paper or on Seesaw. I know with being able to draw kind of a fine line, it might be easier to do on paper. So I'll leave that choice up to you. Or you can, of course, use the line tool when you're on Seesaw to be able to complete the exit ticket, okay? So we'll continue to practice working on time. And again, you are welcome to also not only finish this, but continue to play with the interactive clock that we have been working on in Toy Theater. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see your awesome work on your exit tickets.